Looks like it's end of the day. We're ready to wrap up. So I'm going to spend next 10 minutes just to share some of the thoughts behind founding SmartRun and what we're doing with respect to IoT and AI, some of the things we've been working on. So before we started SmartRun, we started to look at some of the data. And if you look at the top 100 most valuable companies in the world, there are none from India, right? So if you look at even China, now they have more than 10 companies in the top 100 most valuable companies. If you look at top 50 brands, again, there aren't that many brands, I think other than Tata Motors. There are no brands from India that are globally recognizable. Right? There is no Samsung of India, there is no Sony of India, there is no Huawei of India. And of course, we all have seen this, right? In 1990, our GDP is about the same, China and India. Of course, over time, the delta has increased. Now they are 5 times larger. And we're sort of thinking about, okay, what is sort of going wrong? Why there are no global brands from India? We seem to contribute to the product development of virtually every company, every major global brand, but we are not able to build our own brand. So then we look at some more data points. So one of the things, we seem to not focus on innovation. So if you look at the number of patent applications filed by different countries, India, we file less patents than Iran. Iran has been under embargo and all kinds of restrictions, and yet they file more patents than us. And of course, we can forget China and US, right? So they are way ahead. So there isn't, there doesn't seem to be a lot of innovation focus. Also, we don't have a robust product ecosystem, right? So if you look at, I think in 1990s, I think China sort of started as a manufacturing focus, right? But they quickly understood they have to move and beyond manufacturing, start to build products, start to build product brands. So over the last 10, 15 years, as you see, they have really built tons of companies. Of course, some of them are already here. I have not listed Oppos and Vivos of the world, but even beyond that, right? They all started as homegrown brands, but really now competing globally. Whether it's Lenovo, Huawei, Xiaomi, you name it, right? Across the spectrum, from silicon chips to internet, e-commerce, social media, Alibaba to Baidu. So they have really built in the last decade, especially, a good number of companies. While I think we are sort of still stuck in services mindset, right? Consulting, body shopping. I call it like legalized human trafficking. Not really investing in long-term focused building products, taking a lot more risk, right? So we're really focused on consulting services. And of course, in the last 5 years or so, you start to see some new companies. They're still sort of in and around commerce, connecting the buyer to the seller, and you take your 5% margin, you're good. We are not taking R&D-driven, risk-driven, IP-driven efforts, right? Because they're all capital intense and takes a long time. It could take 5 to 10 years to see the fruits of the effort. So I mean, I think that's where we see, sort of the state of the state currently, right? So we are sort of stuck in the services. I know we are sort of making India manufacturing, but manufacturing itself is not enough. And in fact, I don't think we are ready. We are too smart for manufacturing. right? So that's China, Korea, they all done that. I think we should focus more on innovation, design, engineering, products, platforms, right? That is where you can create disproportionate wealth and value if you really want to seriously think about closing the GDP gap with likes of China. That said, we have sort of a very unique opportunity now, right? I think IoT and AI gives us very unique opportunity to reverse that trend, right, and really change the status quo. And obviously, we have not participated in the last 4 or 5 big technology waves, right? If you look at mainframes, PCs, internet, mobile phones, social media, we have not participated in any of those waves. They are either hardware waves or software waves. One of the unique opportunity with AI and IoT is you have an opportunity to innovate across all facets, right? Hardware, software, services. So it's a very unique opportunity if we can really figure out what is that we want to do, how do we differentiate, how do we create products in and around these 2 big technology waves. So this is where we started to focus on. So sort of the 3 big stories we try to build SmartRun around is first really build India-based product brand, a global brand. So whatever we do, we have to be able to sell both here and across the world. And also focus on building, long-term focused, so we call it Tronix, which is essentially a AI-powered IoT platform. So we're sort of bringing intelligence and IoT capabilities into one big back-end platform with its own natural language processing, deep learning, machine learning. Everything is designed and developed in-house, right? So we're not using, Alexa or Siri or Google now. We have developed our own voice recognition, NLP, and all sort of things for the last 2 to 3 years. We have put in a lot of effort, a lot of R&D. We have spent close to $30 million developing the entire platform. The third one is obviously, due to lack of product ecosystem, right? So we're also putting a lot of effort building product ecosystem around the Tronix platform. So we are investing in a lot of startups and companies. We are partnering with them because we are going from tens of devices to hundreds of devices because of sensors and a lot of things. Not a single company can do everything. So you need to create really a collaborative platform, collaborative ecosystem, so that you allow lots of companies to develop different things. Some are focused on devices, some are focused on sensors, some are focused on skills, sort of the back-end AI and machine learning and a lot of those things. So the idea is to continue to build a product ecosystem around our own back-end platform. So this is sort of a very big high-level picture what we've been attempting to build over the last 2 to 3 years. The core of it is what we call Tronix, which is essentially AI and IoT capabilities put together. All the devices that we build around Tronix are all connected to our own backend, through which we can deliver a variety of highly intelligent, customized, personalized experiences, services, entertainment to shopping, travel, lots of other energy management, security, and lots of things for different IoT verticals, whether it is infrastructure, education, enterprise, smart home, health. So we are putting a lot of hooks and a lot of framework behind this entire platform. So we already, we have announced Tronix a few weeks ago, where we have really demonstrated a variety of experiences, whether it is at smart home or smart health, how companies can leverage not just SmartRun, but we have opened up Tronics for other companies to leverage all these capabilities that we have developed to build a variety of products, right? Hardware, software, services. So part of, we sort of call it, tronification of life, which is essentially bringing intelligence to smart devices, smart life. One of the emphasis is how do we create seamlessness across devices. You have Android phones and Windows laptops, and you have some other devices that are running on Linux and other operating systems and whatnot. So we have built a framework and architecture that sort of allows the continuity and sort of a continuous, seamless experience, whether you're at home or in your car or at office or you are on your phone. So a lot of the innovations that have gone into building that's a sort of seamless experience platform across different contexts. And the idea is to really then, leverage the Tronics. We are doing a lot of deep integration in the back end. We're sort of moving beyond apps, trying to integrate a lot of the services and experiences directly in the back end. So the end user doesn't need to worry about installing 10, 15, 20 different apps and bringing all those apps every time you need a service. So it becomes more intuitive, more predictive, and more assistive from that standpoint. And you can, again, interact with that platform through voice, touch, gesture, through physical interfaces. And then for the non-sort of consumer B2B, B2G, where we do provide a lot of analytics and monitoring and other services, essentially connecting the Tronics engine to different verticals through a lot of these smart devices and sensors. So, last 12 months or so, we started to roll out some devices. We launched a few devices in the last 12 months, a couple of mobile phones and what we call T-Book, which is sort of a two-in-one Ultrabook. And then we are launching another 8 to 10 products over the next 9 to 12 months with a good product mix, right, from mobility to wearables to smart home, and we are even bringing electric bike. And the idea is connecting all these devices back to Tronics and then really pushing some very interesting personalized services and experiences to our users. So a lot of these, some of these devices, we are sort of taking more of an ecosystem approach where we're working with a lot of companies. Some of them are developing hardware, some of them are developing software, some of them are developing, other regional language support, integrating all that into Tronics, right? So we have sort of opened up the APIs and all the SDKs so that, from academia to commercial, people can develop different things. So we have sort of opened up the platform itself to other companies. So it's going to be more of a collaborative. The idea is to create aggregation of innovation, right? So how do we catch up to China? The only way is to accelerate the pace of innovation through aggregating the innovation, right, that is there across India and outside. So we are sort of investing a lot of capital into that, sort of encouraging a lot of companies to develop different products and solutions on our platform. All right, thank you. I'm happy to take questions.
Is there anyone who wants to ask any question?
Ready to wrap up, so.
All right, no problem. Thank you so much, sir, for coming here. Can I please get you here?
Sure.
Once again, can we all give him a big round of applause, everyone? Thank you, sir. And now we are moving forward for our next session, and that is panel discussion. And for this, I would like to invite Ms. Beena Amanat. I'm so sorry. So once again, for this panel discussion, I would like to invite Ms. Hemlatha Kumar, Senior Manager Analytics, Amazon Development Center, India, Bangalore. Next, I would like to invite Balaji Hariharan, MD, Soptomotive Robotic Process Automation. Ashwin Srisalam, former monk and co-founder of AHA. And Beena Amanat, Global VP of Big Data, AI and Innovation HP. And they are going to talk on the topic, education of AI, going beyond the human creation to truly brilliant AI human overseas as AI educators, AI and robotics in EdTech, how can AI enhance rather than replace humanity's ability to work? How can machines learning aid in teaching AI? And to moderate, I would like to invite our today's moderator, Mr. Vinay More, CIO, Databytes. So can we all give them a big round of applause?